does it take to be successful? You know, I think it's really, really critical when you start talking about being successful. You gotta break down yourself first and figure out who you are and where you at for your plans and your dreams. Because when you are analyzing success and being successful, you gotta see where you at and see where you want to go. And based off that, you have a better determination of success. I know, like, for me, man, I feel like there's so many gaps with, I say, like, people that, like, I was raised by and people I interacted with growing up, that I definitely try to live my life trying to fulfill those gaps, you know. I like to do a whole bunch of things. I like to specialize. I like to grow, develop, and adapt. But by doing that, you cause yourself to, I don't know, I don't want to sound negative, but like, you don't complete things in the sense of mastering something, you know? You know, like, if you're into computers and you've been into computers for 20 years, you're good at computers over the past 20 years. Well, if you think about today, you can learn how to do computers today and be more successful than somebody who spent 20 years doing computers. And like business, you know, if you've been doing business for 20 years, it's easier for a person to start a business today and be successful because they are starting fresh. They don't have this created, like, expectations of what starting a business is, you know? It's like a business person learn all the rules of today, okay? And then they conduct, build, work their business. But somebody who's been doing business for 20 years, they'll be like, man, I remember 10 years ago. Man, I remember 20 years ago. So that's what I definitely say about myself because, like, I'm noticing I'm interested in things that I can keep my knowledge and is useful. Like people that are into law. You know? If you start practicing law now, you behind. You got a lot of catching up to do. And same thing with people that are like teachers, you know. Teachers, you learn by experience, but teaching changes, you know, new updates, new versions, you know, things like that. But I'm into like I would say like social development and positive behaviors and positive responses and creative coping skills through learned behaviors. And when you're passionate about things like that, you never get to a point where you are or feel complete. You know, you don't get to a point where you're like, man, I maximize this. There's always new things to learn that'll help evolve past knowledge and past education. You know, that's what I like about it. Because, like, you know, I've been into social work like 6 years now, and man, the stuff I do today is combined with knowledge I learned 10 years ago, you know? But when I didn't even know I was doing social work, you know, stuff I do now is life, you know, it's life. And I'm around people who are socially, they have like social, I don't want to say social gaps, but there are missing links in their chain of what they're trying to create and establish. And that's what I feel like I'm really good at. I wouldn't say specialized, but I'll say I'm definitely good at. So that's why I like to like divert my energy and my passion. So when you're thinking about success, you have to take in consideration who you are, what you believe in, and what you're trying to do. And once you understand that better, your definition of success is totally different. You know, like me and my friends talk about like relationships and couples and stuff, and like being single. You know, my homeboys look at me like, dang, bro, you single, you can do this. And I'd be like, dang, y'all in a relationship, you can do this. And then they be like, oh, man, you single, you got these problems. And I'm like, oh, dang, y'all in a relationship, you got those problems. The pros and cons. But we look at each other not as measuring sticks, but we look at each other like, okay, I see your perspective when I'm communicating with you. But when I live my life, it's irrelevant, you know. What my friends do is irrelevant to my life because they're living, creating their stories, developing their journeys, raising their kids. The same thing with me, you know. I raised my kids on different principles than I was raised on, you know. And it's not because my child is different or my child is special. It's more like this world is different. So when she think about success, it's totally, totally different, you know. What she's passionate about is totally different options, you know. When I was growing up, you couldn't do technology at home. You could do technology at home. You can Google. All I have is this. What can I make? And you'll have a freaking project. You go on YouTube. You need the product. You can go on Amazon. So that's why I think about success, you know. Because, you know, sometimes we can live life and set the bar too high. Which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with setting the bar high if you know you're setting the bar high. But, you know, if you're being realistic, you know, you may have some struggles when you start setting these bars high. You know, I'll give you an example. It's like me saying today, hey, I want to be a lawyer. Realistically, I can be a lawyer, but that's a super high bar for me to attempt to accomplish through the things I've been through, you know. And it's not like, it's not something I can't do. It's more like, why do you want to do it? You know, what is your desire and passion, you know? Are you doing it just to do it? And that's what I would say when you think about being successful. You don't want to put yourself in a category where you're just doing stuff to be doing stuff and create a situation where it's definitely not healthy. So you don't want to create negativity because you're trying to accomplish something and create more stress and unnecessary anxiety in your life when it's not needed. You know, that's what I really like to pay attention to and think about during times like this. Like, what do I want to do? What do I need to do? What best suits me? Those are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself, because it's like you're creating something. You know, you're doing something. Because, you know, success is based off what you're thinking about and what's through your lens, you know. It's not through someone else's lens, it's through your lens. So that's what I feel like is super critical in the development of figuring out what your success is. So definitely, when you're thinking about success, you definitely want to figure out where you at, who you are, and what you're trying to do, and that'll help you better analyze, is that real success, you know? Because a lot of times we create these unrealistic things that's like create these unnecessary barriers. All right, peace out, holla.